Chapter in
I totally forgot my stand. I'm missing a stand.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to get started. Welcome. Good Shabbos. How wonderful it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together. Page 128 in your Siddur. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Well, it's so great to have so many people here. We've got Hilda, who has come back from surgery. We're so thrilled. We missed you so much. A real testament to the greatest thing about being gone is how much you're missed, and then you come back, and we're so grateful for you. And And then we see Rebecca. Rebecca is back from having surgery as well. We're so glad you're well and you're here. And maybe, I know, but actually you had yours first. Well, I know, I was just about to say that, but you beat me to it. And maybe you want to chant Torah in August. Maybe. You can let me know. And Crystal is back from Colorado, and she's chanting Torah next week. And Shelley, we're glad to have you here. She's rejoined as a member. Judy has recovered from surgery, and she's back as well. Bobby Smith is here again, and we're thrilled to have her. We are going to bless her for her 88th birthday. She's like neck and neck with you, Mark Riker. And I myself am back from surgery, a week and a half from sinus surgery. So Baruch Hashem to us all. And my husband survived a horrible car accident yesterday. So maybe he'll bench Gomel next week at the Saturday service. So all is good. And everybody else here, you've got all your different things. So we're glad we're all here, we're alive, we're well. And we're going to celebrate Shabbat. So we say, everyone, Baruch Hashem. Praise be to God that we are here and we are well. And we are praying for not only our community, but the world as well. So if you will look to this candle, we light the Shabbat candles on the third Friday because we have our dinner first, and then we have Shabbat a little bit later, although Shabbat starts at almost 9 o'clock now. This candle, as I mentioned, we are going to light, I would like you all to gaze upon the light as we illuminate our own being, our community of Emet, but the entire world. So we want to send our prayers of strength and healing, light and energy to those people in Uvalde, Texas who are struggling, also those in the Ukraine. And there's so many around the world, including in our own country. There's so much violence, there's so much pain and suffering. The great thing for us is that we are people of faith. And when you can be a person that has faith, in a sense, we have someone to turn things over to when we just can't take it anymore. I said to 2 people today on the phone, you know what? Just put it on a platter and turn it over to God. Just say, one person I had said the universe because they're not so sure about God. But just turn it over. When it gets to be too much, I'm giving it to you. Take care of it. And then I will just breathe. So let us all take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Hello, we're thrilled to have Richard and Judy coming in right now. By the way, anyone who has not told me that they're coming to dinner tonight at Di Roma Cucina, please feel free to join us. I have a few extra spaces at the table. I always add a few more. You coming, Richard? Okay, well, I'm glad all the more the merrier. Here comes in Sunny, so we're thrilled to have everyone. I'm glad everyone's coming in before that point when we turn around and face the door for Shalom Aleichem, because they will all be the Sabbath bride. Sunny, would you love to be the Sabbath bride? So, first, Shalom Aleichem, and if you please turn to page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, V'nelech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Barachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, V'nelech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And now we're going to sing a new song unto God. Hard to believe we are actually halfway through the secular year. Can you believe it? but we are on the dawn of our new fiscal year. So this is the last month of the old year, and July 1st will be the new year. So you all have your membership packets and things like that. If you haven't already gotten them in, please do. But that's a new beginning for us, and we pray that it will be one where we can thrive and be vibrant and go back to all the things that we used to do. A new member was actually surprised to find out we have a TV behind that covering. Remember back in the day, it almost feels like the Twilight Zone. We had Academy Award parties and World Series parties and football things. Like, who were those people? Those people were us. And so hopefully in this next year, we will be doing it again. We even had people from across the street who belonged to another synagogue come in and ask us, what in the world were we doing? We're having a World Series party. Well, what's Jewish about that? Baseball is, everything is Jewish when the Jews show up. So that being said, so now we're going to do Lecha Dodi on page 138. And we're going to do your sign language, if you remember it. Shabbat Shalom around the world. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekabala, page 138 again. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekabala, Shabbat. Let me see you do it. Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom Mevorach. Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom Mevorach. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekabala. Page 144. And when I think about these songs that connect to Yerushalayim, we've got to do that Shiru Ladonai, though. We didn't do it, did we? We talked about it, but we didn't do it. So before we do the Hatzi Kaddish, as we separate our Kabbalat Shabbat portion from the worship service, Shiru Ladonai is singing a new song unto God. So as we look towards the future, I don't know, it might be in your Kabbalat Shabbat. Let's see. Let's look and see. Let's see who finds it first. Wendy, maybe it'll be you. It'll be somewhere around 129. Did you find it? Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash? That's about all there is. What page is it? 131. There you go. I'm looking right at it. You ready? Shir Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai, Kol haaretz, Shir Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai, Kol haaretz, Shir Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Batzru miyom le'yom, Yeshuato, Shir Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Batzru miyom le'yom, Yeshuato, Shir Ladonai, Shir Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai, Kol haaretz, Shir Ladonai, Shir Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai, Kol haaretz, Shir Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Batzru miyom le'yom, Yeshuato, Shir Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Batzru miyom le'yom, Yeshuato. Woo! There's a lot of spirit in this room. Page 144, Hatzi Kaddish. And let us read first on the bottom, page 145. Entrances to holiness are everywhere, The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence. Yikadal, Yikadash, Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma, Divrach, Hirute, Ve'amlik, Malchute, V'chai, Yechon, Yom, Echon, V'chai, Yechol, Ve'Yisrael, Ba'agala, Ba'agala, V'izman, Karivim, Ro, Yehi, Shemei Rabbah, Mevarach, Le'alam, Ul'al, Me'amaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitbar, V'yitramon, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yitalev, V'yithalal, Shemei D'Kedusha, Rechu, Le'elam Yinkol V'chata V'shirata, Tishvechata V'nechemata, Da'amiran V'alma V'yimeru, Amen. And now if you'll turn to page 146, we have the Baruch Hu, and let us read together on the bottom of 147. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and the warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and the joy of your presence. Baruch Hu. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai. Please be seated. Isn't it wonderful to be together? So exciting, and I'm so thrilled that everyone's back. So now we have our evening prayer, our Ma'ariv Aravim on page 148. But let us first read the text on 149 at the bottom. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of life. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother and my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of life. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother and my sister, or cross over? And now the text on 148. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chochma poteach she'arim, u'bituna meshane itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, u'misader et hakokavim, u'mishmerotehem barakia kirtsono, bore yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'mavir yom v'mevilayla, u'mavdil ben yom v'layla, Adonai Sebaot Shemo, El Chai v'kayam, Tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. And now I'll have Olam on page 150. Let us read at the top of 151 first, as our wonderful musicians play. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me, but did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Torah Bamidbar, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadata, Otanu limadata. And when we say we will rejoice in your Torah forever, you know what's important, and you'll hear it in my sermon, is that we just keep showing up. And that's what's happened. Even during COVID, we still had people who showed up on our parking lot, who showed up on the live stream and still do. And one person called me, they couldn't make it today, they might show up for dinner, but they wanted to know that they were going to be watching on live stream, they wanted me to know that. So we show up. We show up at Emet, and that's what matters. And this is actually the beginning. Shavuot begins tomorrow evening, and we normally do Yizkor at the service closest to the holiday, but I think what I'm going to do is Yizkor on next Saturday's service, because we will be memorializing Joe Kritzer, and we also have an Ufruf for Brooke and for Kyle, Harriet Allen's grandchildren. So we will be throwing in candy and showering them with sweetness and love. But we have so much to be grateful for, and I think that it's important when we actually will have the Torah out, and Krista will be chanting, she will be chanting Parshat Naso, which is the Birkat Kohanim, where we actually get our priestly benediction that we do every Shabbat. So I think it's appropriate, if we're going to move it, that we do it at that service. So those of you who have Yizkor booklets at home from High Holy Days, please bring them. If not, we may still have some here to pass out. So plan to be here for that Saturday, June 11th, and then we will go to the deli, a very Jewish day. So please be sure to tell me so I can let them know over there how many we're going to have. So I have to give them advance warning. We told them last week going in, and I'm like, I want you to know, we're bringing the troops. Get yourselves prepared. So showing up as we talk about Shavuot, the commandments we're giving, and it is said that all of us who are here now, people who have newly joined and people who have been here since our founding start and at the other place, we were all together before, and we are all together again now. We were together at Mount Sinai, and we have found our way to each other at this point. As I look at several adult B'nai Mitzvah people that are here, and confirmants and the scholars that just kept going, we're grateful to be a community of Torah and Emet. So if you'd like to stand for the Shema as we witness the oneness of God and the commandments that we've been given, or be seated, whatever is better for you, please do so, even at home, page 152 and 153. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema as we turn to the Ve'ahavta. And we're meant to pass down this love of Judaism from generation to generation, and it's so wonderful. We now have our young ones that I have known since preschool. We don't want to think about how many years that is. I mean, Dan and I, when he was doing his concert, I was looking at you, Dan, I was thinking, how can it be that we're almost 20 years older and we've been together almost that long? Like, it's not possible. And then I called one of our 8-year-olds and I said, where does the time go? And they were like, what are you talking about? We're 80, we were 60 then. Yeah, but we were 40. But, hopefully we're going to call God with our cell phones and our hearts with the Ve'ahavta. I was thinking about how, I've been looking at, these young couples that say, oh, no, they start out, we're going to get married, but we're not going to do anything Judaic. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, please at least have a ketubah. Please smash the glass. I'll be giving you the glass, blah, blah, blah. So then I start getting like, oh, we ordered our ketubah. Like, it was their idea, which I'm so grateful for. But they're like, look at it, isn't it pretty? Do you like it? Will you check it out? So I've been looking at ketubahs for like the last week and a half. And ketubot, but it's been very exciting. And I want you to know Crystal's here. It wasn't a surprise, but usually I buy them just the wedding glass, but with Sierra from the congregation, when you hear me say at the annual congregational meeting that I get congregational gifts. So there's going to be a small celebration for Sierra for her wedding, who's been with us, since the beginning, and her mom will be chanting Torah next week. But I was like, you've got to smash the glass, and we have to put it something Judaic, like you need a mezuzah or something. I sent her pictures of all these picture frames, and I'm like, well, maybe just put it in a picture frame. So then I said, but look at this beautiful heart mezuzah. Let's, get you a kosher scroll and put it in the heart mezuzah. And so she sends me back another picture, and she says, well, I really like this one. But they're all really expensive. I'm like, never mind, the congregation has got you. We will. So that's congregational gifts. So you're all, it will be in the card that it's from all of us. So she went with the kosher scroll and the mezuzah and a blue glass. It always cracks me up when it has to be blue, like Jerusalem. I want you to know this because it's important to realize that, and you'll hear it in the sermon once again, we don't realize the difference that we make. And most particularly in the lives of our children, when it just starts to kind of bleed through a little bit here and there and everywhere. And it's exciting, you know. My daughter, as you know, has moved to New York, and she started her job as a chaplain at New York Presbyterian. So she calls me today and she says, it's very interesting. No one has been a hospice chaplain in this particular way, or a chaplain for the mentally ill in the adult psych ward. And she said, no one has done that since I was there 8 years ago training. And so now they're going to, she's going to be doing that again. And one of the people came up to her and said, our vision for you, we're going to be here together for years. Our vision for you is that you will one day be the pediatric rabbi. And so she said, and I said to someone, I can't meet with you because I have to go do Shabbat. And they were like, it's okay. We're going to be here together for years. And so I'm like, I'm really happy for you. But yeah, you're going to be there for years. But that's the idea. And I said, you get the soul pairings of your parents. Teachers beget teachers, and rabbis beget rabbis, and chaplains. You know, I was a chaplain for the California Military Reserve, beget chaplains. And so this Ve'ahavta prayer, it's not an accident. I mean, we are meant to pass down who we are to our children. And if we look to our own parents, anyone here don't like some of the qualities that you have when you look in the mirror and you kind of see your parents? Well, for better or worse, we pass the good and the bad down. But it's their responsibility to raise everything one step higher. So that's what we pray for. So with the Ve'ahavta, we'll focus our intention on that the next generation will lead us forward towards something brighter and better. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'beitecha v'v'lechecha v'nerech v'v'shofecha v'v'kunecha v'kashartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'einecha v'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha v'visharecha leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hiyatem kadoshim le'lohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher Hatzeiti echem me'eretz Mitzrayim l'hiyot lachem l'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Emet. And I share these stories with you just so that hopefully maybe you can make a parallel in your own life of something that you haven't seen. And I'm looking out here at Judy as I'm talking about Judy Rice, the different, children that we've raised. But I left the synagogue in LA, where I originally met her, and that first year I went back and forth for the confirmation class there because they were so upset that I had left to come to the South Bay. And then we started what we have here. And the reality is, one other thing I said to my daughter is, as we go through life, we don't know every single person that we've touched, in what way our encounter with them has made a difference. Even if you're at the supermarket and you smile at someone who's just very depressed, you might be reaching out and saving a life. You don't even know. And I said, you have souls you've touched here, you have souls you're meant to touch there. And just like all of us, we had them in LA, I had them in Dallas, and we're here. So every single one of us goes through life. Even in the post office, Sonny, when you're at the post office, every single one of us affects another. And if we're mindful and try to create positivity, we will generate that in our own little world, but hopefully for the world at large. So now if you will turn, we are going to recreate that moment of the Michamocha when we went forward, when we didn't know what was going to happen, with faith and not fear. But first, let us read on the bottom of page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace. Give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and your love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Mi chamocha, page 158. If you want to dance in your seat or dance around the room, please do. It's like our traveling minstrel show. I love it. We're all in the middle of Fiddler on the Roof. So let us read on the top of page 161, then we'll do Hashkivenu on page 160. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Hashkivenu. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up to life renewed. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, l'hamidenu, shomrenu l'chaim. V'fras aleinu sukkah shlomecha, v'fras aleinu sukkah shlomecha. Amen. V'fras aleinu sukkah, sukkah shlomecha. Ya la la la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. The frost aleinu sukkah, And so now, if you're able to, please rise as we turn to the Amidah on page 164, 166, 168. We do the insert now for summer and wrap it up on 170. Adonai sefetai tipta ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Kanei HaKol, V'Zocher Hastei Avot V'Imahot, V'Mevi Gillah Livnei V'Nehem, Aman Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Madin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'chayei HaKol atah, Rav HaShiach, Morid Hatal, Mechakel Chaim V'Chesed, Mechayei Metim V'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'agiluro, Umidom Elah, Melech Memid Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atal ha'chayot ha'kol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei ha'metim, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, v'kadoshim b'chol yom, v'halalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. Please be seated. And let us read on the top of page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth, Emet. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. So those of you that know Sandy Teicher, I went and saw him today. And Teicher is losing a lot of weight, and he's struggling. He's in a new facility. And Arlene Vida is struggling with her dialysis. So if you can call her, the best days are Tuesday or Thursday. She was in the hospital, and she got out, and she's pulling herself together this week. So we have a lot of people that are, really at the point where they probably could use a phone call here or there, some community around them. So when we ask, that God be there for us with the Misha Baruch and other things, but whenever we put that phrase out there, we're asking that, like Ufro Soleni Sukkot Shlomecha, that we're asking that umbrella of peace and love and safety and health and whatever's meant to be, even if it's a safe passage into the next realm, that God is with us. So let us think about that on page 174 as we do the Ritzei a cappella. And first, let us read the bottom of 175. The prayer is also above it. 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us trouble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Yisrael and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. And when you think about Israel, if you haven't, a very interesting series on, you can check with my husband, but I think it's HBO Max, who can pay attention to all these streaming services. But it's the beauty of Jerusalem. And it's quite interesting. It's a very interesting story. And you get to see a lot of Israel, even though they have this fake sort of drawing of the old city. And speaking of Israel, Bobby Smith here would like to go to Israel. Natalie and Bob would like to go to Israel. I have been gathering a collection of phone calls of people who might want to go to Israel. I actually have about 10 people that want to go to Israel. The interesting thing here is that we're still waiting to go to Africa. It's like our third year. The next year is we're going to go. And I'm like, if we don't go to Africa soon, Mark Reichard's going to be 99. And my husband keeps saying, when can we just cancel Africa? And I said, not as long as Mark Reichard wants to go, we are going to Africa. I will not let you go without me, Mark Reichard. I said, well, he might like to lead the trip. So that being said, Mark Reichard or anybody else who wants to help, we maybe need to look at when we can go to Israel. And I also remember Linda Klugman said that she'd like to take a trip with her son, with her family. And so I don't know, it may be a different kind of trip. Dan, maybe you bring your kids. Maybe you bring your kids, Shelley. I mean, we have people who have wanted to bring their kids, and now their kids are not so much kids anymore. So, maybe, I don't know, Marianne wants to go back and see Sasha. So we will all take a trip to go see Sasha, who's living in Israel. So we have mishpacha in Yerushalayim, some of us in our own families. We saw some of Mark and Sandra's relatives when we were there last. We don't have to go to the concentration camps, and we don't even have to go into Jordan again. We could just stay in Israel, just get in and get out and have a good time. So think about it and send me an email if you're interested, because we may be safer there than just about anywhere, who knows. So the Ritzay, let's sing it on the top of 175 or the top of 174. Ritzay Adonai Eloheinu Ve'amcha Yisrael Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Ve'amcha Yisrael U'tefilatam U'tefilatam Ve'ahavat Ekavel U'tefilatam, u'tefilatam, ve'ahavat ekavel. Ritzei, ritzei, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'amcha Yisrael. Ritzei, ritzei, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'amcha Yisrael. And let us read under the prayer on the top of 174. Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Yisrael, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people Yisrael always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. Shabbat Shalom. Were it not for moving to Dallas, I might not actually be standing before you here today. Many of you know the story. Many of you don't know the story. I began my working career as an actress, and it was only after a horrific year of enduring fires, floods, riots, earthquakes, my mother-in-law being struck by a car in Leisure World and killed, and my son being born and spending the 2nd to 3rd month of his life in the hospital fighting death, almost dying, that I started on my quest to find God. You either join God or you get mad at God. I desperately needed to know why bad things happen to good people. And I didn't want to be in a position of blaming God, feeling victimized, and just wanted to know that there was actually a reason for it all. And every place, every single one of us, no matter where we are in our lives, no matter what bad, challenging things are happening, we need to know that they are opportunities for our character to grow and for us to learn and to ascend in our soul's journey, but that also, as bad as whatever our bad is, it can always be worse. And the grass is not greener on the other side. Let us tend to our own garden. We know what that is. After the Malibu fires, we moved to Dallas, Texas. All those fires and floods and riots. And I had some extremely anti-Semitic experiences, which led me to the local synagogue, eventually enrolling my children, working for them as synagogues do. What do? You do this, you do that. Oh, come do that for us. You know, many of you, we've done that. And some of you are coming up, we've done that as well. But what I discovered in the South was that every single Jew counted. People had to fight for their Judaism, their heritage, and their identity, so as not to get lost in the vast wilderness of the Bible Belt. Had we stayed in Los Angeles, I don't know if any of this would have happened. God does have a plan for each and every one of us. We may feel like we're not on the path we thought we would be on. Dan, I was looking at you singing, remembering how you were going to be an actor and thinking about all that you did and how you were selling those sandwiches and you met your beautiful wife who you happen to still be married to, which is, Baruch Hashem, a big deal in this world. And you have your two beautiful children. And there you are playing your beautiful music that you've done for so long, lifting us all up. And we have talked. I thought, it's hard for me to watch the Academy Awards because I thought those were my people. But they are my people because now I bury them. And I ask myself when I bury people like Suzanne Plachette and other ones, what's higher, working alongside them, saying lines that are not mine, or sending them to God? God has a plan for each and every one of us. We just don't know what it is. So sometimes we may feel like what we have to contribute is minimal and that we're just going through our days and we're just passing time and we're doing whatever we can do to just get by, just get through. But remember what I said at the beginning, we don't know who we've touched in just little ways. All of you teachers that have touched your children. Like I even said with Sunny at the post office, we don't know. We have nurses here. We don't know how our life has made a difference. Even if we were working with longshoremen, we don't know what we said to someone that might have changed their lives. So each and every one of us is here for a reason. So we might recognize that maybe, yes, our life does have meaning, and maybe we do have a clear and defined purpose, even if we don't realize it. But what we have to know and what this Parsha, this Shabbat teaches us is that the reality is we all matter. We all, each and every one of us, count. The Plattises are here tonight. You count. I've been seeing you at Passover and a couple dinners, and I'm like, when are you going to come out of the house and come to services? And here you are. You count. Every single one of you count. When you're here at Shabbat, my husband comes out, guess what we do? We count. And we look online, and we can see who's watched online. They are anonymous, but guess what we do? We count. Every single person counts, especially when we show up for Judaism and we keep it alive with devotion of heart, mind, and spirit. V'chol levavecha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol meodecha. And even more so when we pass it down. L'dor v'dor, from generation to generation, keeping that flame alive to illumine the future. Our Parsha, this Shabbat Bamidbar, is all about that, counting and illumination. Every single Jewish person was counted. A census was taken. Those census counting things, those go back thousands of years. Each person was equally precious to the community and equally precious to God. In Los Angeles or New York, you don't have to think about being Jewish. That's why I said I don't know if I would have been here if I didn't go to Texas doing this. I might have stayed an actress. The culture of Judaism is present everywhere. You don't have to go very far to find a deli or a restaurant or some Jewish heritage. It's ever present and it's easily accessible. But in other parts of the country or even the world, it's not so much that way. You have to work at being Jewish. You have to make a commitment. You have to make a choice. You have to make an effort. And somehow, it seems almost imperative that you have to do this. When people convert, they're just coming back to where they were when they were with us back at Sinai, but they're making that choice to get back with their people and count. We as Jews are always in the minority, but we make a big difference to society and the entire world as a whole. especially after the Holocaust. It is even more important to hang on, to be prolific, and to count. What did Hitler do? He counted. He took stock. He went after everyone. We need desperately to replenish what we lost, and yet our world is very assimilated, and all faith-based religions are suffering, trying to not become extinct. We can all learn something from Jews living in more isolated communities, even here in the South Bay. We're a little bit isolated from the rest of the world, from Los Angeles. There's been a concerted effort to stay connected here on the outskirts of LA. Rabbi Yossi Goldman speaks about people who live in small Jewish communities. He says that they are more committed because they know that if not for them, there might not be anyone else to do the job. With fewer people available, they feel a deeper sense of responsibility and community. Interestingly, when those same people move to bigger cities, they often no longer have that same degree of involvement in communal affairs. Rav Yisrael Salanter, the father of the Musar movement, once said, "Every single Jew should feel as if he or she is the very last Jew on earth. And if they won't do what needs to be done, there would be no one else to do it." How many of you people on the board feel that way? Here it may actually be true. We knew this when we created Temple Emet. We recognized the need to do things differently, such is our slogan, as we defined ourselves and gave birth to ourselves. We didn't need a building. We just needed each other. We just had to have that desire to pray together, to play together, to travel together, and eat together as we still do. But we had that desire to be with like-minded people that felt the way we felt and looked to their Judaism the way we looked to our Judaism. Building a community of like-minded individuals who shared this desire. Every single one of us mattered, every single one of us counted, and still do. We are in membership season. If you know somebody, bring them along. We need more like-minded individuals to be a part of the Temple Emet family. Every single member can make a difference in our being able to not only survive, but thrive. Shabbat Bamidbar is the first portion in the book of Numbers. We are in the Bamidbar, we are in the wilderness, and every single one of us counts. Hopefully, here at Emet, everyone knows how important they are, not just to the community, not just to the temple, but to the world as well, as a whole. We created something from nothing at a time when secular religion was waning. Our devotion, our collective heart counts. In the grand scheme of God's glorious plan, we matter. Each and every one of us will have left our mark. We contributed, we cared, we did the work, we recognized the need for however long we are here. We made a difference in people's lives. We showed up. Over the last 12 years, we have actually brought actively many children and adults into the fold with conversions and namings and b'nai mitzvahs and confirmations and more. There have been weddings and funerals, moments of majesty and moments of sadness. And all of it has been shared as one united family devoted to Emet. We all make up the whole, and each and every one of us counts. Every congregant, every volunteer, every sisterhood and board member, each and every one of us counts. Kabbalistically, the energy of this parsha of Bamidbar pushes us to face our opponent. Mercury has been in retrograde. It's just coming out today. Have any of you felt like you've been facing some kind of unseen opponent? It has been awful. Have you? Yeah, the worst, I think, almost ever. But let's not say that because we don't want to get more worse. The force that challenges us, the force that drives us to understand how this energy works and operates in our lives. We need to get in sync with that flow. Only through this understanding, through the spiritual work and change that this time enables for each and every one of us, can we bring forth not only peace within ourselves, but peace for our world. We have a force that pushes us and helps us to grow and reach our highest and best selves. We don't know always what that's going to look like, but it's definitely there. That promise is there, and it's been there for almost 6,000 years. When we reach our highest selves, when we reach for it and we keep doing and plugging away at it, we are able to give more, we are able to do more, but most importantly, we are able to be more. And it is not over until we draw our last breath. And then the whole wonderful next journey begins. And may we go to that journey knowing that we did everything we could do while we were on this one. We can leave this world knowing that we made a difference and that we left it better for our having been here because we counted. Tomorrow is Erev Shavuot. We have come through the Omer period from Pesach until now, earning the right to receive the commandments at Mount Sinai. This Shabbat, moving into Shavuot, we strengthen our commitment to community, to God, and to Torah. Let us remember the sacrifice that we have all made to build this community. Look at the names on that tapestry that Mark and Sandra Reichert so lovingly made. Look at all the names around. Look at everything that has been donated and all the tribes and the Aleph Bet. Look at everything that we created. Go look at the pictures in the hallway. And Sandra Reichert made a beautiful book for Mark and my anniversary. I told her that my house cleaning woman was cleaning and stopped to look at this book, at all the pictures. And when you look at it, it is a glorious tribute to everything we have done in the last 12 years. I was like, who are these people? I mean, we were these people. What happened? COVID happened. And it's going to be gone. We're going to make it be gone because we count, we matter, and we're going to go forward. So my husband is going to work with Sandra, and hopefully we will watch that TV at our dinners, and you will see it continually running, pages and pages and pages of everything we've done in the last 12 years. And Sandra has been collecting that with love and devotion. So thank you. It is a glorious thing to see. May we all receive blessings on high for the devotion that we have shown for the purpose of sharing. Everyone who has donated of themselves selflessly, generously, of mind, body, and spirit, know that you count, that you matter to us, that we took on a responsibility 12 years ago, and we're paying it forward, we're keeping it going. May that responsibility that we took at Mount Sinai when we took this Torah resonate within us, and may we get blessings on high for the fact that we have kept it going. Look at this building. But even if we weren't in this building, remember, we created a community when other communities were broken and falling apart and merging. That's what was happening in 2010 when we made Temple Emet. So we're grateful to God to be able to serve Judaism, to serve Torah, to serve Emet in our humble community. May God bless us on high so that we can continue to go forward and share the light and the love that is Emet. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. So now we are going to move forward. We're going to do the Misha Barak. So I know I've already mentioned some other people that are in need of a prayer, but in your mind's eye, see your loved ones, see the ones that you want to send a prayer out to. Look at the candle that's burning for so many that are hurting around the world, and turn to page 371. It's there that you will find the text. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. See them in your mind's eye. Misha Barak Avotenu Mekor Havracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishevera imotenu v'kor havracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Please rise and turn to page 586 as we have the Aleinu on the bottom of the page and the next couple of pages. 586. Aleinu l'shaveach l'adon hakol, l'teik gedolah l'yotzer v'reishit, shelo asanu k'elei haratzon, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adamah, shelo sam chalkeinu kohen, v'gor aleinu k'chol mamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech v'alchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notei Shamayim v'Yotzer Haaretz, u'Moshe v'Yakavru b'Shamayim v'Imocho, u'Shechinah Luzo, u'Shechinah Luzo, v'Kovhen Meromim, u'Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato, Kakatu B'Torato, V'yadata Hayom, V'yadata Hayom, V'Shevota, L'Lavacha, Ki Adonai, Hu Ha'Elohim, V'Shamayim V'Ima'al, V'Haaretz, V'Haaretz Mitachal Einod, 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 V'Nemar, V'Hayadonai, V'Melech HaKol Haaretz, V'Yom Hahu, V'Yom Hahu, V'Adonai Echad, V'Shemo, V'Shemo, V'Shemo Echad. Please be seated. We are going to do a birthday blessing for Bobby after we have announcements, and before our closing song, we'll bless, and then we'll call anybody else up, so be thinking about it if you had a birthday in May or June, to come forward and share after we have a special blessing for Bobby. You can always call me and say, I want a special blessing, and I'll say, oh, great, okay. So it's very funny. I was sitting with Sandy, and I was like, you could call me yourself. Give me your cell phone. Let's put my phone number in there. Just dial the number and say, I need you, and I will come. So that's what it's like around here. So when we think of our loved ones who've moved into the heavenly realm, we ask that they have peace for all eternity. And there's so many sitting here today who have lost loved ones. And there are so many around the world who unexpectedly lost loved ones. So we're grateful for all the time that we have, and we need to make that time count. So if you've lost someone in the last week, would you please rise and say your loved one's name? So sorry to hear. Stay standing if you'd like. If you lost someone in the last 30 days, would you please rise and say your loved one's name? If you've lost someone in the last 11 months, and this is why we say their names aloud, they count, it matters. Shelley. May his memory be for a blessing. Lynn. And we will be celebrating both of them at the next service and the one after that. Rebecca. Okay, now Hilda, you can say it again. Okay, so see, we get it's a measure of double portion, like Chilchalot on Shabbat. Sunny. Wonderful. Anybody else? Okay, so now if you're observing the yard side, an anniversary of a loved one's death, say your name, raise your hands. Go ahead, Sue. Judy? Lynn? Lynn she's probably bought more tribes than anyone, and she actually buys them for members just that are, part of her temple family, and we're very grateful to that. Hilda? Anybody else have a yard side? Please rise as together we say, at home, I hope you are saying the names of your loved ones. As we say the Kaddish on page 598, we will be having, something going out, so eventually you can send in your loved ones' names and we'll say them up here after the mayoral election. Wendy has offered to step up and help out with that. Lynn has also said that she will help. Sunny's been trying to do it, so we're going to have a collective. When you have a state of three, you bring order out of the chaos that is all that paperwork. So we bless our loved ones on high. Oh, Mark, you have someone?
Can we include in our prayer for the children?
Yes, that's what we lit the candle for at the beginning. But also, that's why we are truly, and I'm making that connection with the light and with our souls. But thank you for bringing them up at this time as well. So together, it's not just them, it's Buffalo and everywhere else that's happening. It's all over the place. It's just every single day it seems like there's things that we hear about, but there's so many things that we don't hear about as well. Together on page 1 at 598, Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, ve'almad yivrach v'ruteh ve'yamlich machuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh d'chol beit Yisrael, v'ad Allah v'yizman karui v'imru. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam alamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei l'kudashav rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushvechata v'nechamata ta'amiran ve'alaman imrum. Yehei shalama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'okol Yisrael v'imrum. Oseh shalom v'imramav hu yaseh shalom Aleinu ve'okol Yisrael, Imru, Amen. May God, who is the author of life and death, grant eternal rest and peace to our loved ones, peace to those around the world that are suffering, those who lost children so young, and all over the world. So much heartbreak, so much loss, as together we say, Amen. Now we'll have some announcements. Please be seated. And then we will bless the birthday people and each other, and then we will close with Oseh Shalom, which is connected to the Kaddish. So thank you to our president, Diana, for being here and showing up. You count.
One does try not to break one's leg getting up here. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to all of you here in our building and at home watching on live stream. And thanks, Mark Tannen. It's so wonderful that you do such a great job on this wonderful live stream. Our flowers are sponsored by Judy and Dan Plattis tonight, in loving memory of Judy's brother, David Albin. Happy birthday, Bobby. I'm so glad to see her. I haven't seen her in ages. Are you having a wonderful birthday? You're going to have a celebration in just a moment. Rabbi, you are unbelievably amazing. Every time I hear you talk, it reaches my soul. You know what to say and how to say it, and I truly appreciate it. She's a vessel, she just channels. I got it. Okay, so I want to thank our wonderful music director, Dan Spector. Dan had a magnificent concert, and hopefully those of you who were here loved it as much as I did. It was fantastic. I love that starting number. I was just watching that movie that they made about all of the Broadway musical composers who were all Jews, and that his first number was that. And it was so great. I want to hear it again sometime. Okay, our volunteer musicians: Marianne on violin, Stacy on percussion, Amy on baritone uke, and Hilda, welcome back. Oh, we have missed you so much. There is no harpist like our harpist. None. And she's back, and I'm so grateful to see you back. It's just so wonderful. Our next lunch bunch is going to be Wednesday. this coming Wednesday, and we're going to be at King's Hawaiian at 12:30. And if you haven't told me that you're coming, please tell me, because I had to convince them that we really were going to be there. Okay, so let me know. Our next Saturday service, as Rabbi Didi has told you, is very special. I hope you'll be here. It's hard for me to get up early in the morning. It really is, but I'm going to be here because this is a very special Saturday service. And I wouldn't miss their off-roof in a million years. So that's great. And then, of course, we're going to the New York Deli for lunch. Why is it so important to go to lunch? Because I never get around to eating breakfast. That's another story.
And it's at 10:30. Mark Reichard wanted us to say
It's
what
at
time.
10:30. The service is 10:30. I will be here. I may have my eyes shut when I arrive, but I will be here, and my eyes will open up in time for our wonderful service.
You'll absorb it.
Yes, I will. And of course, there's going to be the off-roof for Jake and Brooke, followed by lunch
Kyle.
at the day.
Jake already
Kyle.
happened.
Oh, good grief.
They're twins. It's hard, I know.
You know, I've grown up with these kids, Kyle and Brooke.
Fortunately, they look a lot different from each other.
No, they
now.
do. And Jake and Myra are about to have a baby too.
Yes,
so
they are.
that's
They are.
really another exciting time. Okay, that's our last Saturday service before
November.
Yeah. So come. It's the last one for a while. Pat, tell me about sisterhood. Do we have a board meeting? The end of June. So that's going to be a Tuesday? The fourth Tuesday of this month. It'll be on Zoom. So you'll send a link. Great. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that I managed to forget? Because, you know, I've been forgetting stuff. It's so much fun to forget stuff, but I catch up. Anyway, dinner after service tonight at DeRoma's. I hope you'll join us. And I think I got it all.
You did. Thank you. Good
Shabbat
job.
shalom.
Yashakawa. Shabbat shalom. Thank you so much, Dr. Wolf, our president. Once more. And so as you're going down, Bobby, come on up. Or maybe Diane, you can stay up here with Bobby if you want. We can both bless her. Yeah. You're both a vision in blue. You make Israel proud. You could be wearing that for Yom HaTzmaut. It is now in Shavuot. You're very, very, look, you like the flag. Yeah.
Bobby was in Israel with us.
Yes, she was. And she wants to go back.
I would love to go back. It was such a wonderful, wonderful trip. I still have magnificent memories of our Israel trip.
And we've gone twice, which this will be a third time. Third is a charm. You could just go look at the quilt that Sandra made in the lounge. So, Bobby.
Are we going to ride camels again?
I'm up for it with you if you want to do it. Like she's a pistol in Israel, let me tell you. Right? Everybody that you guys remember, she was like flirting with everybody. And you know, you don't look a day older. You actually look younger than when we were in Israel. You're doing something right.
What? Well, because I've shed some of that fat.
Well, as we all have tried. It was either during COVID, go one way or the other. So no, you look great. Yeah, I know. So we're gonna, if everyone would please rise, we're gonna open up the ark. And we're going to bless Bobby in front. Bobby had an adult B'nai Mitzvah. It was in honor of your birthday, wasn't it, coming up at that time? Didn't you have a birthday around the time of the Bat Mitzvah? Who knows? Who remembers? It's been like...
Bobby was in my B'nai Mitzvah class. Yes. Well, it was yours too.
13 was a good number. You can see pictures of that in the hallway too. But maybe we'll have another one. Maybe, like I said, you know, people will email. We have a lot of new people that might want to have a B'nai Mitzvah. And if you already had a Bat Mitzvah, you can be confirmed. And if you already had a Bat Mitzvah confirmed, then we had our scholar, we had our master scholar, that we made a whole new title. We can make a fourth title because every person counts. So here we are in front of the Torah Scrolls. Bobby, I know you take this very seriously. And I know that you have passed it down to your children. And I know that you've had a lot of hardship and struggles in your life, but you're standing here today. I was just about to say that. She said, I've had a lot of fun too. And that's the way you want to be. That's how you want to look at it. Bobby, elaborate on that. Because, I mean, it's a lesson. As we stand here in front of the ark, say, thank you, God.
Thank you, God. I've had a good life. I've had a lot of fun. I have a wonderful family. I'm a blessed woman.
And she's 88, and she was saying, Rabbi, 88 is a good number. I said, well, I know, because I know you're sharing it with Mark Reicher. And I said, but 8 is the number of Mashiach, and you have 2 8s, so it's like a double portion, and you add the 2 8s together, and that's 16, okay? And then you put the 6 and the 1 together, and that's 7, which is the 7 days of creation. And Siman Tov and Mazel Tov, number 7 is goodness. So
I'm looking forward to this year.
she's looking forward to this year, and so are we. And may we plan for Israel. Maybe I should put you in charge of the committee. But anyway, we stand in front of these Torah scrolls. We ask God to bless you, most particularly on this your 88th birthday.
Thank you.
Okay, she just had it yesterday. And by the way, Terry Schneider sent me a text and said, did you know it was Bobby Smith's birthday? So even in Virginia, she was watching out for you. So together, is there anyone else that had a birthday in May or June? Come on up, come on up. Anybody else? Come on over here, Susan. And so, talk about counting and showing up. I think you and your husband come to just about every single dinner and lunch and breakfast that we have. And I'm so excited when we have you there. So come on up here. Another person in blue. What did you guys all get this memo? Here, Diana, come in here and we'll hold the...
Try not to break my neck.
Okay. What is this? I did not get the memo, but there's some blue in here. Okay, so as we stand in front of this ark, we bless each and every one of you with the love of Adonai and of your community, your temple family. As we all stand here together, we bless one another and the world. As we say, may God bless you and keep you. May God's countenance shine upon you. May God be with you, grant you good, strong health and happiness, and all the world as we go forward with Emet, with truth, in our heart and our soul and our being. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Can you hear our sound? May it be God's will. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, this is an example that COVID is over. Ha ha ha. It may be moving around, but here we are all being blessed with the rabbi's towels. Fortunately, I've had 4 shots and COVID, so you're about as lucky as you can get. Thank you, girls, for being here. And we're going to do that as we're getting ready to go down. You guys ready? Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach. Mazel Tov, happy birthday. And now we have a prayer for peace for all the world. Oseh Shalom as we close out our service. Thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you for counting. And please come to the Roma. I have put extra in the count, and we will make sure they know that we're on our way. So are we ready? May God be with us all and grant peace. Oseh Shalom B'Roma. Thank you for being here. don't forget to take your flowers.